Say what? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another live feed via Facebook. I thought I'd quickly introduce my lovely boys. Say hi, Charlie. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Okay, I just woke him up and I brought him into the studio. Poor bugger. Sorry, Baba. Say hello. Hi, everyone. Wow. Wow. All right, I'm going to put him down. I'll be back in 2 seconds. One moment. There you go, darling. Oh, there you go. Good boy. Okay. Whew. All right. Welcome to another Art Corner. Thank you all for joining me. I thought I'd do a quick different time frame and give you guys this live feed at a different time zone. Whew, that was a bit tiring. Now, my name is Mirjana Persakis, aka Mim. Thank you all for joining me. Really, really appreciate your time. Now, what I thought I'd do today, let's fix that properly. There we go. What I thought I'd do today is give you guys a quick, some ideas on what you could do with your children during the school holidays. But at the same time, even though I don't want to use this phrase, this is a really good activity for art therapy, which I think is going to work for a lot of people who have a quick, racy mind or unable to keep their mind focused. And so I thought about some ideas that you guys might like, and maybe something that could be A, simple, B, everybody's got things lying around their home. And the one idea that I came up with is to make gift cards. And this is quite easy. I mean, everyone's got glue, an art magazine, and in my case I've got this artist magazine that I've had for a long time. In actual fact, I've got a number of these magazines in my studio, so I thought I was going to sacrifice one and cut out some shapes. So that's the thing that you need. You also need to have a piece of art paper, or in this case it's a watercolor paper, and it's quite a small one, as you can tell. I've simply folded it in half, and I'm going to use that to make my card with. So I've chosen some different photographs that I can use, and I've already cut them out. Now, my way of creating a gift card is to really start off with telling a story. So I want to create a storyboard. So I went and cut out some different shapes, some fun art, because I'm using an art magazine. But you know, you guys can do whatever you want. You don't have to have any particular magazine or story. Create what you guys want to create. So yeah, I'm going to turn you guys around and just give you some ideas. Again, just simple directional ideas of what you can do, or how you want to structure your story and how you create on this little piece of paper. But like I said before, the really good thing about doing this, even though it's quite simple, and I know this is old school and people have lost interest in, you know, cutting out shapes and pasting it, it really does give you the opportunity to focus. So it builds that patience, number one, first and foremost, but also you let go of the worrisome thoughts, and you let go of, you know, being busy and doing so many things. So you start to really begin to focus, calm down. You have to think about, you know, if you're using scissors to cut around your shape, or if you're using a Stanley knife, you know, being careful not to cut your fingers. A word of warning, of course, if you are doing this with your children, please do not use Stanley knives. Please use child safety scissors and cutting equipment. Really, really important. So yeah, that's about it. Now I'm going to turn you guys around and start putting together this particular art gift card. Now I'm going to slowly just switch the camera. Okay. And twist you guys around. There we go. I hope you guys can see that. Yep. All right. There we go. That's really cool. Excellent. I'm just going to make sure that it stays in place. So, as you can tell, I've already cut out some shapes, and what I wanted to do, I wanted to create a story that was around or centered around Australia. And because this is an Australian magazine, I cut out some shapes of Australian landscape. Now this is someone's painting that they've already done, which is quite nice. And then I cut out things that interested me, and I created a fun storyline. So it was around the animal, which is a kookaburra, a galah, and a cat. And then I went and got some different style figures, which I thought personifies pretty much Australia, that we're a country of different nationalities and different backgrounds. So I thought that was really cool. We're going to put some of those in there, but create a fun, creative card. So quite simple, of course. You know, use your glue, craft glue, and add that to your paper. Now, of course, with any card that you're doing, it's like collage in artwork. You want to start to put the image that's going to be on the bottom first, and then we're going to build it up. So in this case, I'm going to put my landscape on first. There we go. Press that down. Now, the next image that I want to use is of this cat. I might just use this paper here to put the glue on and start to build your collage, working from your initial shape, and then keep on adding the shapes as you go along. So there goes the cat, nicely glued, and I'm going to put that cat right in the corner there, overlapping the landscape. So the ear's a little bit big, and that's okay, but I'm just going to fold that ear over that fold there, which is quite good. Keep pressing down on the paper so the glue sticks. My next one in mind, of course, is now this little girl. So I'm going to add a little bit of sticky glue to her. Whoops, I think I broke her hand. I did. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to add the little girl next, which is going to be right there. And given that we're sticking things on, I'm going to re-stick and reattach her hand right there. She won't know any different. There we go. Done. Next shape down is I'm going to add my kookaburra. There we go. Okay. There's the kookaburra. And I'm going to just give it a little bit of a twist. I don't want to put everything in a parallel fashion, so just give it a little bit of movement. And I quite like this bird here. I mean, these birds are really, really prolific in my area here, but I don't know about Sydney, but in the country you find them everywhere. So I'm going to add that as well. Again, these are just the odd shapes that I found. That looks quite good like that, in the magazine. And then I began basically creating my own narrative and what I wanted to say. So that was the whole idea of, you know, what I'm actually sticking on this particular collage. I mean, you could, like I said, you could do whatever you really like. I also found this really cool, almost Picasso-esque face. And I thought that was really cool. Like, it's a little bit different. It's not your standard portrait. So I decided to cut that out and also use that. And I figured I'm going to add that in the corner up here, almost as if that particular face is looking a little bit perplexed at what the cat and the bird are doing. So that was, I found that quite intriguing. I also found this figure of this very medieval looking man, so I'm going to add him as well. He's quite interesting, and I thought maybe we can add him right in the middle, just a little bit off center. And the last face is again another Picasso-esque type face, and that's going to go right in the corner of this composition, which is going to be somewhere around in here. So there we go. So that was, it's really as easy as it gets. I mean, it's nothing too difficult. There's the actual card that you could give to somebody. I mean, it's handmade, it's different, it's therapeutic. I mean, I did that really quickly. You know, this was like within the last 5 minutes, but I spent about 10 minutes finding my shapes, cutting them out, thinking about what storyboard I wanted to create. But the actual process here, it's quite unique, it's quite different in terms of allowing your mind to rest, in terms of giving you a bit more of a structured focus for your mindset. And that's really, really important when it comes to building that strong mindset using art. So there's one of the gift cards that I cut out and we just pasted. The other one is I wanted to do something that was, and I've cut these out like I said before, a little bit more animal inspired. I love animals, big animal lover myself. So I thought we'd do something that was centered around dogs and flowers, but I wanted to then just put in like a little bit of writing. And again, I cut this out from the magazine, so I'm going to put that right at the top. Again, a reminder, start building from your first shape and then work your way up. Never kind of put what you want to go first, like for example that, and then paste on top, unless you really want to do that. I don't know, but just think about how you want your shapes to center. I'm also going to add this beautiful flower on there as well, so we're going to add a lot of glue to that. There we go. And also put that around in there too. Yeah, there's a really weird thing that, you know, once you start doing this process with collage and creating your own things, it just adds this incredible sense of accomplishment, and it's different. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just going to get a new paper. It adds, you know, you kind of don't want to throw things out as easily. You consider and you think more about recycling. You have a little bit more consideration with, you know, how to use things and repurpose things. So I'm a big fan of, you know, putting everything to good use versus just going out and buying things. And I think when you start to make things for your friends and family, it really is a lot more satisfying, and they appreciate a lot more, at least from my perspective anyway. I'm not sure what everybody else thinks, but yeah, it's quite therapeutic and nice to give somebody something that you've made, and it means a lot more ultimately, I think, versus going out to buy things. Okay, here's another one here. We're going to add the little puppy dog up here. There we go. Now I've saved the best for last, which is this lovely old fellow that somebody painted, which I've cut out from the magazine. I'm going to add him into the corner over the flowers. So the narrative that I really wanted to create here was all about dogs in the park. And whilst I couldn't find a third dog, I found this impala. I think it's an impala. So I cut that figure out, or that particular shape, and I figured why not add something different and put that in there as well. So there we go. So there's my second gift card, created with a simple collage. Like I said, it's really easy to cut these shapes out beforehand, and then you can spend time, you know, making your own different cards. Whether or not, you know, you guys give out cards for Christmas, I don't know, but this will certainly be something unique and created one-off. You know, it's not mass-produced or mass-purchased, which I think is a really nice and lovely touch. So yeah, I'm going to turn you guys around again. Just bear with me, and there we go. One sec. Oh, there we go, and oh, fabulous. There we go. Fantastic. So there you go. That was a really simple process in how to create your own unique gift cards and give something that you've made heartfelt. You know, you're creating your own story. You're putting together your own ideology behind something. And ultimately, again, I want to come back to, you know, building a strong mindset is really all about being able to problem solve, being able to create in a safe environment, and know that when you make a mistake, it's okay, that you'll be able to figure that out. And when you're doing these kind of activities with your family, your friends, or your children, and particularly with children, you'll start to see how confident they become, and you'll start to see how, you know, they become a lot more comfortable with who they are, their full entire self. And this is simple, you know, this is really simple to create. Like, how cool is that? I quite like that. There we go. And again, this is a story that I kind of came up with, but you guys can create your own stories. You can create your own ideology. I know that you can go to the point where you can draw on that as well. That's another, you know, small craft that you could do on a different day. But this, I think, kind of, you know, inspires the mind to think about what the photos are saying. And so when you got your magazine and you're thinking about what you want to cut out, then, you know, you kind of start to think about more strategic, you know, placement of each photo, what each photo says, what each photo means, etc., etc. So yeah, it's a fun process. I know I'm sounding repetitive here, and ultimately I think that, you know, this type of thing is probably lost, but I really urge you to spend, I mean, this was like an hour activity. you know, spend some time on the weekends or whenever you've got free, particularly during the school holidays in Australia anyway. I know they're coming up. And if you've got birthday parties for children or your friends or your family coming up, this is a really, really cool activity to do. Cut and paste some photos from a magazine. FYI, children, if you're watching, please ask your mum and dad before you go and cut up anything in the house. Make sure that you ask them if you can cut it up first, and then definitely go in and create something as fun as this. So yeah, that was something simple. To sum up, I think again, putting these ideas together, it's really, really simple. This is idea number 2 that you could do. You can create, you can do something different. I don't know how many people wouldn't have, you know, a simple craft glue in the house, magazine, and some crafty scissors to be able to do this. I think it's a really good idea to spend 1 hour with your kids creating something that will definitely give them lasting memories. And after all, I think this kind of creative process, you know, even if your children create something that, you know, isn't as fun or you don't think it's particularly clever, what I think the real message out of this is that what you're leaving them with is good memories and good impressions. And as they grow older and as they start to recollect their childhood, what will be you know, a memory at the forefront of their mind would be how they spent this time with you, how they created these kind of fun activities, even if the activity was you know, incredibly boring. Or it's not about that. It's really about the time that you guys spend together. So there you go. Hope you enjoy that. Hope you think you can find some time to do something and create something that's unique. And as always, yeah, thank you for joining me in the Art Corner. This was a really, really quick impromptu Facebook Live session on ideas that you could create or consider coming up to the weekend that you could do with your children. And yeah, if you actually do this on the weekend, let me know. Drop me a quick message and say, hey, Mim, we did this. What do you think? Show me your artwork. I'd love to see your artwork that you guys create through collage. And like I said, again, make sure you ask mum and dad what magazines you can and cannot use before you cut them out and paste them and create your own gifting cards or Christmas cards or birthday cards. So yeah, drop us a line, but certainly keep this in mind for the weekend and do something fun and different. 1 hour, really cool, 1 hour. Let me know. Until next time, guys, thank you always for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel, and thank you for connecting and for being inspired to build your own creative mindset. As always, I'm here for you. Ask any questions, always happy to help. Until next time, bye.